You are live, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Newington Town Council regular meeting of Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. We're calling the meeting to order at 7 p.m. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We will move now to our roll call, please.
Councilor Hannist.
Yes, here.
Councilor Braverman.
Here.
Councilor Budraco.
Here.
Councilor Camillo.
Here.
Councilor Donahue.
Here.
Councilor Menke.
Here.
Councilor Minor.
Here.
Councilor Nagel.
Here.
Mayor Del Buono.
Here. All right, everyone is present. We will go ahead and move on to approval of the agenda this evening. I'll entertain a motion.
I would move approval of the agenda.
Thank you,
Second.
Councilor Menke. Seconded by Councilor Annis. Is there any discussion on this? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead to a roll call vote, please.
Councilor Annis. Councilor Braverman.
Yes.
Councilor Budraco.
Yes.
Councilor Camillo.
Yes.
Councilor Donahue.
Yes.
Councilor Menke.
Yes.
Councilor Minor.
Yes.
Councilor Nagel.
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
Councilor Annis.
Yes.
Thank you. 9-0.
All right, folks, the agenda passes. We will move on into our agenda for this evening. The first item under our agenda is public participation. And I will look into our participants window to see if anyone has their hand raised. If you're in the Zoom application, you can raise your hand in the participants window. And if you are calling in, *9 is the way to raise your hand so that we go ahead and see that you want to be acknowledged. We'll just give it a second. All right, I don't see anyone's hands raised, so we will move on. The next item on the agenda. Did anyone receive any email correspondence?
No.
No.
Okay, we will continue on to remarks by councilors on public participation. Since we had none, I'll assume there are no remarks to that. And no hands are raised. We will move on to consideration of old business. The first item under old business is health update regarding COVID-19. Mr. Chapman?
Yes, we have both the director from the health district, Charles Brown, with us, as well as Megan Menke, and they're prepared to report on various aspects of the COVID-19 situation.
Okay. Megan and Charles, do you have any preference on who goes first? Would like to start us off?
I can start.
Okay, great. Thank you, Megan.
No problem. I'm going to start with my usual shout out to everyone who has made all these vaccinations possible that we've been doing. Our CERT team, I don't know if I said it in a council meeting. I would probably talk to the mayor. Our CERT team our volunteers put in 832 hours in the month of March alone at 18 clinics. So they've been doing awesome. The senior center staff has been great. CCHD has been great. I'll get that out of the way now. We are in the last week currently of the senior center vaccination clinics. As of Friday, we will have given 1,000 shots, which is fully vaccinating. So first and second shots, 500 people at our senior center in Newington. And sorry, Charlie lost connection, so I'll just keep going. As the latest numbers, I just talked to Diane Stone earlier, the latest numbers for people 65 and up in Newington is 85% of those people have been vaccinated, which is awesome. And that's not just at our clinics, obviously, but the next plan was to move to the regional clinics at the Berlin Fairgrounds, and Johnson & Johnson, the whole issue that occurred with that definitely threw a wrench in that plan because we were planning on using Johnson & Johnson at that clinic. It was going to be a 3-day long mass vaccination. So we are kind of reevaluating that. I'm sure Charlie can fill in where they're at with that once he gets back in. And in the meantime, we are also exploring how to do homebound vaccinations. So we are right now currently not equipped to do it, but we are planning to do it. We were kind of planning the regional thing and then the homebound thing, so we might swap them now. In the meantime, if you are homebound, which is fully homebound, like you would need an ambulance to leave your house. If you can get in a car, we can find you a shot. But if you are homebound, there is a form on the DPH website. No, not the DPH website. It's the Connecticut ct.gov/COVID vaccine website. There is a form on there if you are homebound to fill out, and that gets submitted to CCHD. The senior center is assisting with like the vetting of that program, and we can try to get you a shot. If you are having trouble accessing those, any of the platforms or the vaccine, there is a lot more vaccine available right now than there was a month ago. You can call the senior center still. Their number is 860-665-8778, 860-665-8778, and you're more than welcome to email me as well. So it's just mmenke@newingtonct.gov. We can't magically make an appointment for you, but we can definitely point you in the right direction and help you access it. As of last Thursday, we are still in the red. I'm not sure what the numbers look like for this week. Charlie can probably fill in on that as well.
Yep.
And I am working on a reopening plan. So what are our town buildings going to look like when we reopen to the public? How can we do that safely? Department heads gave a lot of input on, what they need and, what it's going to look like in order to open our doors again in a way that we can do it where everyone is going to be safe. We don't want to just, I forgot what the phrase is that Diane always says was, nobody quits in overtime. So we just want to do it. What is it, Charlie?
You don't spike the ball on the 5-yard line.
Right. So we're just trying to do it safely, and we are planning on doing that in the near future as soon as our numbers get out of the red. And I will let Charlie fill in all of the gaps in what I just said.
Or I'll give a shot while my technology is still working. Thanks, Megan, for getting that started. So Newington right now, as of yesterday, had 2,618 cases, 100 total deaths at this time. As Megan mentioned, we are still in the red, and just like most of the state at this point is actually in the red. So it's been a bit of a struggle, I think, for everybody to try to deal with where we are right now. Newington's at 24.9 cases per 100,000 over a 2-week average. And the red level is at 15 cases. So we were very close here a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, the variant, the B117, which is the UK variant, has been spreading rather well. It's the dominant strain in the US and in Connecticut at this point. And that's the one that's actually about 50% more infectious than the original strain of the virus. What we're seeing right now is a lot of the younger people who were not affected kind of at the beginning or less affected are the ones that are actually contracting the virus at this point. The highest numbers that we're seeing are in the 20 to 29 cohort. And it's good and bad news. There's more of them that are getting sick, but generally they're not going to the hospital as much, which is why you're seeing the hospitalization numbers not rise as quickly as it was here in the fall and back early in the pandemic. So we're had the news today about Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is very unfortunate. We were working, as Megan had said, to be able to do a mass vaccination clinic to be open to really all ages at this point, and then to start to work on the homebound because it was a single dose shot and it takes a lot of resources to be able to actually get to homebound. So we're still trying to digest what the impacts of this are. There's a meeting at the federal level for the ACIP for the immunization professionals to be able to determine really what the future of the use of this particular vaccine is. They're going to review the data, and we'll know more hopefully by the end of the week as to how we're going to move forward.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any council comment or question? Counselor Menke?
Yeah, Charlie, I wonder if you can solve a dilemma I have. I have a couple of friends who say that now that they've gotten their shot, they don't need to wear their masks any longer. Can you just can dispel that, or is that true? We don't have to wear a mask if we have the shot, or we should still wear our masks?
You know, as we get on this, it's going to be a little bit complicated. I mean, if you're in public, among others, you definitely need to wear a mask, and continuing to wear a mask, right, especially as these variants are starting to circulate more. But you know, if you're with people that are vaccinated, that are kind of within your circle, and everybody's vaccinated, CDC says that you can remove your mask for periods in that. Just, you know, everybody, I think, being courteous, especially out in the public, because people don't know your vaccination status. And it's, you know, once again, they still are working on the data to be able to determine if for sure people who actually are contracting are, you know, are vaccinated and that may contract the disease can spread it. So they're still working on data with respect to that. So let's not, you know, kind of, as Megan was alluding to, spike the ball on the 5-yard line. Let's continue doing the things that have kept us and our neighbors and our communities healthy. Wearing the mask is one of those things. So let's keep that up.
I would just echo that. Thanks to the volunteers that you know, the people who volunteer to make these clinics happen. It's amazing that many people put in that many hours to help out their neighbors to make, you know, make the clinics happen. Without them, the clinic wouldn't happen. And I know from firsthand that those of us who go to other towns help out, we're like rock stars in the other towns, because we have a group of people who will come to another town and help out other towns.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty important.
And I'll tell you, an inspiration as well. So you're seeing a lot of people that are saying, why can't our town have something like that? So you're definitely inspiring people. And I think the more teams that we have, the more ability that we have to be able to respond in a broad way. So you guys have definitely helped out, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Counselor Menke, you all set? Okay. Deputy Mayor Bedrejko?
Yeah, Charles, this sounds premature, but it really isn't, because the way time flies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm already reading articles about booster shots. Now, is this something then, I mean, we don't even have, you know, most of the population vaccinated yet with their first or second shots. And then those of us who have gotten it early are going to be up for and when is this going to be a continual cycle for the next how many years?
We really don't know exactly. I mean, they have said the possibility of booster shots, and I think people are speculating along those lines. And one of the main reasons for that is these variants that are coming up. Just like the flu virus, the coronavirus does adapt to its environment and looks to be able to change to be able to spread further. So what we're looking at down the road is for this to become an endemic disease, you know, similar to what the flu is. And the potential is that, you know, you would get a seasonal booster shot as you come on. I mean, right now we're kind of at the beginning of that process, but that is the goal, is to actually get to the point to where we can manage this disease as it lives among us without having it manage us. So, you know, I think here it's going to seem very quick, and people are going to say, well, I just got a shot. Why do I need another shot here very soon? But it's to get into that rhythm. I think we're at the beginning of this. Okay. And everybody needs to remember, we are just over a year into it. So, you know, we're going to get into this rhythm, and hopefully it just becomes a seasonal thing that you do, just like you get your flu shot. You'll end up getting a COVID booster at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Counselor Minor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick question, Charles. On the 100 deaths that we had, did you ever come across the data in terms of the demographics and facilities, if they were in facilities? I know we
Yeah.
touched on it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't had the opportunity to dig into that and get that data for you at this point, Councilor Munner. I
Sure.
will dig that up for you. Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other council comment or question? Councilor Nagel?
I'd just like to ask Charlie, hard question to answer. I have a number of people who are younger than me, and there are a lot, that just are naysayers, that they're not going to get a shot no matter what, whatever, and believe in all the so-called conspiracy theories about what actually is in the different vaccines. Do you have any advice as to what to say to these people or not to say to them?
Well, I mean, I think the thing that you can do, get them to, reputable information. So, I think it's the right thing to do is to question a lot of these things. But going to CDC, going to the National Institutes of Health, getting the information from the State Department of Public Health website to answer those questions, I think is the right thing to do. And in the end, I think we're not going to get 100%. I mean, that's the goal. But I think that even with flu and some of the, and all the rest of it, we're never going to get to that particular goal. Our goal is to get as many people vaccinated as we possibly can, getting them to the right information so that they can make an informed decision, I think is the most important thing that we can all do.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? I want to mention too, I know Megan and Charles, every time you're on the Talk to the Mayor with me, it still amazes me every time I hear about the volunteers and the work that they're doing at these clinics. I, really want to give a shout out to all of our residents that are helping out, not just our town, but all these other surrounding towns. And, we're very fortunate to have such an incredible volunteer base in Newington in general, but especially with this pandemic. So shout out to everyone out there. And thank you to both of you for all of I know you're doing a lot extra right now because of all of this, and we really appreciate you both.
Thank you. It's my honor.
All right, folks, we'll move on. The next item is Town Hall project update. Mr. Chapman?
Yes, if you've been by the town hall recently, you will notice that the parking lot in the front of the town hall on the police department side is just about ready for paving. It should have a binder course down in the next couple of days, depending on the weather and the temperature. But the binder will go down, curbing will be put in, final pavement will be placed. So that portion of the project will be moving right along now that the weather has cooperated. So there's not a lot of stuff left to do with the new town hall. There's still some areas that we're trying to work through, but overall, it's going to be fully functional very shortly with parking. And if the COVID does go away, or if the declaration of emergency by the governor goes away, then we anticipate probably a early June reopening of all of our buildings. Now, some may be phased in, but we have plans that are in place right now for that phase in to occur, but probably early June if everything continues in the direction it's going.
Great news. Hopefully we'll continue in that direction and we can get going with that. Any council comment or question? All right, I don't see any. We will move on. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. The next item is the 150th Anniversary Steering Committee report. And we have Eileen Francolino with us, who's the chair of that committee. Welcome, Ms. Francolino.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take a little time to catch up to date with what's been going on. And as you can imagine, we, just like all of the rest of the town, has been trying to navigate through the whole COVID situation. We do have an event coming up on the 24th of April on Saturday morning from 12 to 4. It'll be a little historical walk through town. And if you look at the graphic on the screen, those are the spots where you can go and visit. The QR code on the corner is a map in case anybody doesn't know how to find them. If you're a good walk, or you can walk, from one site to the other. You can start wherever you want and finish wherever you want. There'll be a person at each site that will explain a little bit about what's going on, and there'll also be a tent at on the town green for information, and we'll be selling a few little things there as well. It is a COVID-friendly event. We're asking people to wear masks and to maintain social distancing. And the CERT team has offered to help us in terms of monitoring any traffic flow and just making sure people can navigate from one site to the other safely. And then in May, moving from where we came from, we're going to look at where we are now. And we put together a little game board that's 25 questions, kind of weird little questions that will make people get out, enjoy the fresh air, check out the town and see what's going on. Things like, hopefully that you can't just look up on your technology, that you'll have to go and investigate, like how many steps does it take to get from the bottom of the waterfall to the top? So you'll have to go out to the park and check it out. Or what color is the slide at Churchill Park? Just different things that'll help people get out, get some fresh air, walk around town, see what's going on. So it should be fun. And then with the help of Parks and Recreation, the game boards will be available online, or you can pick one up at the Parks and Rec office. Just call up and they'll bring one out to you, and they'll be returned to the Parks and Rec office, and we'll pull some names and award some prizes when that is done and over. Other things we have coming up, we're going to try to do a Stock the Shelves event for the food pantry. We have a blood drive scheduled. Initially, we were kind of hoping to do something a little bigger and try to get 150 pints of blood, but that's an awful lot. So we're just going to be happy that we get some and can make a donation on behalf of the town. We have a golf tournament of some sort set up, and a kindness event. And in the fall, we'll be holding a mayor's ball, MAYORS apostrophe. So that will be an event to honor the mayors, the past mayors of our town, which is something we can all look forward to. That's still in the planning stages, and I'll have more to report to that in as the months come on. And the other things I like to say is, well, Kathleen Clark put together the historical walk, so shout out to her, and special thanks to Parks and Recreation and NCTV for supporting our work.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds like you've been so busy. We're really grateful for all the events you have coming up and that are planned. I'll open it up for council comment and question. Councilor Nagel.
Thank you, Eileen, for being here tonight and covering a variety of different things that are happening. One thing that I think you just overlooked briefly is there a rain date for the historical walk?
I believe it's Sunday.
Okay, Sunday. Yeah, I believe it's Sunday as well. I just wanted to double check with you for those who weren't in the know that are listening. Yeah. And also, are there any kinds of 150th souvenirs that will be available at the historic walk, or other places like T-shirts or mugs or anything like that? Has that been thought of, or are those kind of things going to be available for people to purchase?
We have a table that we'll be setting up on the town green. We have some T-shirts. We have some Avery soda, and we have some prints of a painting that one of our native artists did that's of the waterfall, that are just amazingly beautiful. And then we're going to have some new things, hopefully for the extravaganza, when that happens, not if that happens. And we'll have some things at the mayor's ball as well. We have a quilt coming that's the schoolhouse quilters, I think is what they're called. I'm so excited to see it. And then we have a big rendition of the painting that was made. That's really, it's gorgeous. It's found a nice place in my house. I'm going to hate to give it up. So we have some things out there that'll be nice to look at. We also, I found some pictures that used to be hanging in the old town hall, and had Image Inc. made some copies of them. So there'll be lawn signs with those on them as you go around. You'll be able to see those on the town hall, on the town green. So there'll be enough going on to keep people busy and interested, I think.
My understanding is there's going to be a central place that has detailed explanations or information about the various different sites that
Town green.
couldn't be seen. Could you tell us a little more about that?
That's what's going to be on the town green, the information table and the table where we'll be selling what we have for what you would refer to as souvenirs. There'll be a tent, so you'll be able to see it, and some signage there as well.
My understanding is the CERT team is helping out. Is that true?
Yes. The CERT team is going to be guiding people as they walk around town, just to make sure they can get from one place to the other safely.
Okay, and please send some of them to 646 Main Street. As you know, I'll be there
Yes.
in my garb as Mr.
There you go.
Kirk.
Thank you for
Thank you.
doing that for us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wonderful. Any other council comment or questions? Eileen, I'll be in touch. I had a resident reach out to me with an idea for a possible opportunity, either for like a nostalgic handout or a fundraiser opportunity, but I don't want to mention it yet, but I will be in contact and we can chat about it a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank
Mayor?
you. Thanks for coming this evening. Yes.
Eileen, how long is the walk?
There'll be people at each station from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
No, in miles.
Oh, I couldn't tell you because it depends on how you want to walk it. The farthest point is probably going to be the Kellogg-Eddy House, and then you'd probably walk from there to the waterfall and the library and the firehouse, and so that's all pretty central. The church is central, and then 944 Main Street is right in the center of town, and then the other one, that's 646 Main Street, it's a little bit of a hike. You can drive. There's plenty of places to park at any of these spots, but you know, the ones that are in the center of town are pretty close.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Braverman. All right. Thank you, Ms. Francolino. We appreciate you coming in tonight.
No problem. I'm going to try to report once a month, so you just know that we're not sitting here doing nothing.
Wonderful. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. All right, folks, we'll move on. The next item on our agenda this evening is the 2020-2021 transfer request, which we did review at our last meeting. And is Janet on with us this evening?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, Janet, do you just want to quickly mention what this is about?
These were the list of budget requests that I had made, and totaling $1,029,763,000. Some of the projects were ones I was trying to move up into this year to get done, such as the carpeting in the library and painting of the firehouse. The largest item, of course, was the first part of the chassis for the new fire truck, to try to keep that moving along. And other things were in here were such things as the body cameras that weren't included in the budget, but are going to be needed, and the irrigation system around town hall.
Okay, great. And I know later on this evening when we do our budget adjustments, if these pass this evening, then there will be some adjustments to be made for the ones that were being completed this current fiscal year. So that's good news.
Yep.
Any council comment or question before we go to a vote on this? Or I should say, read in the resolution first. I don't see any hands up. Who would like to go ahead and read that in for the record?
I can read it for you, Beth.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Bedrejko.
Yeah. Certification. In accordance with section 808 of the town charter, I hereby certify that there exist, free from encumbrances, in the following appropriations in the general fund, the amounts listed below. Account 11014-8220, serial bond interest, $200,000. Account 10218-8101, support services salary PD, $235,000. Account 10962-8220, other contractual contingency, $200,000. Account 10941-8220, other contractual medical, $100,000. Account 10713-8101, library salary reference, $100,000. Account 10715-8101, library salary collection management, $40,000. Account 10, 716, 8101, library salary circulation, 10,000. Account 10, 212, 8101, patrol salary PD, 30,000. Account 10, 511, 8220, health services, 74,763. Account 10, 810, 8101, parks and recreation salary, 40,000, total $1,029,763. Janet Murphy, Director of Finance. Resolved that the Newington Town Council hereby transfers the above certified funds in the general fund to the following accounts in the Capital Improvement Fund. Account number 32,500, 88,142, Public Safety Equipment Reserve, $737,087. Account 30,214, 88,120, Police Body Cameras, 140,000. Account 30,714, 88,118, Library Carpet, 72,676. Account 30,235, 88,733, Firehouse Interior, Exterior Painting, 40,000. Account 30,195, 88,121, Town Hall Irrigation System, 40,000, total $1,029,763.
Is there a second? I'm not sure.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Donahue, seconded by Counselor Donahue. Any further discussion on this item? I know we discussed last week, but any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote, please, Susan.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
thank you. All right, folks, we'll move on. The next item this evening is our fiscal year 2022 State Historic Documents Grant Program application. This is an annual item that we do every year. The town clerk's office applies for this grant in order to continue working on the preservation of town documents. I know Mr. Kropinski's on with us. James, do you want to add anything?
No, I pretty much reviewed it at the last meeting. I'm happy to say that we have never missed a year of applying for this grant, and I don't plan on starting it now. And I will say I'm expecting to see my first round of books from last year's grant. Those should be delivered to me later this week. So we'll have that completed and we'll be able to start this one in the next fiscal year.
Wonderful news. Would someone go ahead and read that resolution, and who'd like to do that? Counselor
Okay.
Menke, thank you.
Resolved that Keith Chapman, town manager, or his designee, is authorized to execute and deliver it in the name of and on behalf of this municipality, a contract with the Connecticut State Library for the Historic Documents Preservation Grant for fiscal year 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Anist. Any, excuse me, any discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist, Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono,
Yes,
Counselor Anist.
Yes.
Thank you. 9-0.
motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, we will move on. The next item, thank you, James. The next item on our agenda is the Anna Reynolds School Project Architect Recommendation, and this was brought forward again at our last meeting. On March 11th, the Anna Reynolds Public Building Committee formally selected Castle Booz Associates of New Britain, Connecticut to perform architectural design services for the renovation of the Anna Reynolds Elementary School project. So we have a motion here this evening. Who would like to go ahead and read that for us?
I could do it.
Go ahead, Counselor Donahue. Oh, you're muted, John.
Yeah, I just figured it out. Resolved, the Newington Town Council, upon the recommendation of the Anna Reynolds School Project Building Committee, hereby authorizes Keith Chapman, Town Manager, to enter into an agreement with Castle Booze Associates of New Britain, Connecticut, to provide architectural design services for the Anna Reynolds School Project renovation.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo. Any council comment or question? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco, Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
thank you. All right, we are now on to fiscal year 2021, 2022 proposed budget adjustments. So this evening, we will be discussing the town council tentative budget that we set. In terms of budget process, the town manager brought forward a budget. We then, as a council, have adopted that budget. We now have the opportunity to go ahead and make adjustments to that budget. We will not be finalizing that this evening. We will entertain motions this evening and take action on those motions. There will be one opportunity left on April 20th for us to make any additional adjustments that we see fit as a council, and then to set the budget and adopt the budget and set the mill rate on April 20th. So that's kind of the procedure from tonight forward in terms of this process. So at this point, I will open it up to our recommended budget adjustments, and we'll start with Councilor Mankey, please.
James, do you have our adjustments?
Did you send them through to me? Because I don't have an email.
Okay, I can go through. First one is item 10352, account 8220, tipping fee. We would like to increase that to 54,670.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Donahue, I believe I heard first. And is there any discussion on this item?
The rationale is just for everybody's information is that the fee went up between when the budget was prepared and now.
Okay, so this is a recommendation from town staff?
Correct.
Okay. Any other council comment or question? Susan, get ready. We're going to be busy with some roll call votes. I
Okay.
apologize.
No problem.
We're going to do a roll call vote on this, please.
Okay, Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
All right, motion passes. Go ahead, Councilor Mankey.
Okay. Item 10512, account 8310, environmental committee. We would propose increasing the budget to $500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this?
Again, this is something we didn't give them put any money in this item before, but we feel that they could use the $500 to continue their efforts.
Okay. Any other council comment or question? I believe this was a request from the committee chair.
Correct.
To help support the Sustainability Connecticut work that they're doing as well. Any other council comment or question? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Great, thank you. Continue on,
Well,
Mr. Mankey.
Sure. Item 11100, account 8501, library carpet. We would like to reduce this amount by $72,676. The
there a
rationale
second?
is,
Oh.
sorry,
I'm sorry.
second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo. And discussion, go ahead, Counselor
The
Mankin.
rationale is we just voted to transfer the funds to get this job done this year.
Any other council comments? I am having trouble with my view. I just lost my.
Sorry. Mayor Delpino?
Yes, go ahead.
Why do we need to replace the carpet in the library?
This is actually a reduction by that amount because the work is being completed in this current fiscal year, not next year.
Okay, so the work is being done anyway. Okay. Thank you.
If you want a rationale for the replacement piece, the town manager can certainly answer that.
Was it because of the roof, Keith?
It's for the carpeting in the library. It's replaced on a periodic basis, and this is a portion of the library that will get replaced this. It was planned for next year, but we're going to try to do it this year rather than wait till next year. We'd like to get it done before the library reopens, but I don't know if that's going to be possible at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comment or question? All right, we'll move to a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
thank you.
I can continue. Section 11100-8501, painting the firehouse. We would like to reduce that by 40,000. The same rationale, we just voted to transfer the money.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Counselor Camillo. Any other discussion on this? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
okay. Counselor Menke?
Section 11100-8501, grant match. We'd like to reduce that by 20,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo. A discussion on this? I believe that in our budget originally, and this is, I think, a new item we haven't had in the past, where we're actually trying to set aside monies so that when we do apply for grants and they're matching fund grants, that we would have money readily available in an account to meet those needs instead of trying to find it within the budget or in a different line item. So that was the rationale, I believe, for town staff
Right.
putting this into the budget. And we're just looking to reduce it from 120,000 down to 100,000.
Correct.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this item? All right, I don't see anyone's hand, so we'll go to a roll call vote.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Okay.
Section 11100-8501, zoning reg updates. We'd like to reduce this by $15,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo. And discussion?
The rationale is that we would like to wait to see what the state does with the zoning regs before we undertake to review ours.
Okay. Any other council comment or question? All right, I don't see anyone, so we'll move to roll call vote.
Counselor Ennis,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
yes,
Counselor Mackey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Okay.
Okay, section 10151, account 6114, budget receipt for FEMA. We'd like to reduce that by $300,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by
This is-
Counselor Nagel.
This is the money that we expect to recoup from the early August storm of 2021.
Okay,
2020.
2020.
2020.
2020.
Hopefully you're not the great Kreskin and you're predicting something.
Yeah. And hopefully we get the money before it's August of 2021. But
All right. Any other discussion on this one? And just, I know this was something that we checked with town staff and they felt comfortable with this reduction and the fact that we would be receiving those funds from FEMA.
correct.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead to a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Ennis,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
yes,
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Next is section 10191, account 8220, contracted facility oversight. We'd like to increase that by $160. $160,000. Sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo. In discussion?
Our rationale behind this was that because even if we have a new facilities director coming on in July, it'll take a while to get acclimated to our facilities, and we don't want to lose momentum on repairing the facilities and the work that the Owen study identified as needing to be done. So we don't want to just let that wait till we all get on board here. We want to keep that work going.
All right, Counselor Minor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, just to confirm, so the thought process to this would be basically for a 12-month period to allow the oversight while a new manager was selected and brought on board, and to try to get the existing projects identified by Owens to actually start hitting the streets for bid after July 1. Am I correct in that?
That's what we're putting in the budget. Yeah, it's only 1 year.
Okay. Okay, and that would be a contractor versus an individual, potentially?
The details we can work out the details, I guess,
Okay.
later, but
Yeah, I would envision it as being more of a firm, more than one individual, if that's what you're asking, but
I would think so.
that certainly is something that would have to be determined through the process.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Any other council comment or questions? All right, we'll move to a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Ennis,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
yes,
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Next item is 10120, account 8103. And that would be assistance in the town manager's office. We would propose to increase this by 140,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Camillo.
Our rationale is that the town manager's office has taken on a number of additional duties and they could use the assistance we would sort of direct the town manager to sort of write up a job description or a description of what kind of assistance he needs in that office, and then present it to the council for action.
And if I'm not mistaken, just for clarification, that would include, that figure is inclusive of salary and benefits and whatever else we thought that position would need.
Correct.
So that was an inclusive figure. Any other council comment or question? Councilor Minor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So at this point, we haven't developed a scope of the responsibilities for that individual. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
Okay. Just something to possibly consider. I know in a lot of other municipalities do it at a higher level within the town manager's office, would be somebody potentially to look at grant opportunities and pursue those opportunities. I think it's a high level specialty, but I believe that it would pay dividends potentially.
And that could be part of the duties assigned or the job description.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, certainly that job description, as with all, would come forward for the council to deliberate and make recommendations, but we would look to the town manager's office to work on developing that for us, and then we could certainly have say in the process of developing it as well, and then it would come to a council vote to make sure that we're all on board with that position as described. Are there any other council comment or questions or discussion on this item? All right, we'll go to roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
No.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budrago,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
No.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
7-2.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all we have at this point.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Mankey. We'll move on now. I believe Counselor Annis, do you have some adjustments as well?
Yes, I do. Thank you. As you saw, that we did have a lot of the same adjustments, which is nice to see. But we do have a couple that we would like to bring forward. Item number 111008504, to add to our land acquisition fund of $20,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Minor, I believe I heard. And discussion?
Yes, at a previous meeting, we did have a discussion that we are not funding our land acquisition and pursuant to the charter. We should or we shall. So we thought we'd kind of give it a jump start and start funding it, because down the road, there will be property, hopefully, that will become available, and we need some seed money to put offers in.
All right, thank you. Any other council comment or question? I will say, as you know, Counselor Annis, we had a smaller amount listed to put into that fund as a proposal. So I am personally very pleased to see that you would like to put some more in there. And I know that this year, this council as a whole already voted to put $62,000+ into that account. So we're up to a good start. Any other council comment? All right, we'll go to roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budrago,
Absolutely.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Definitely yes.
and Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
great, thank you.
Okay, 111008501, equipment reserve for the school buses of $492,000.
Is this a reduction?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I thought
That's
I said
okay.
that.
Thank
Not
you.
increasing, reducing.
All right, and is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Minor, and discussion on this item.
Yes, this is a recommendation from the superintendent now that they're moving to a 13-year cycle, And for the past year, it's going to be almost a year and a half, the buses have not been used as much. So she felt that they did not need to replace the buses. And I do know as of March 15th, and I don't know what the current amount is, there was still money sitting in CIP of approximately $654,000 for bus replacement.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other council comment or question? Counselor Ennis, did you talk to the superintendent or is this from your board members? I'm just curious.
I talked to the superintendent.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. I don't see any other hands up, so we'll go to a roll call vote.
Counselor Annis,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
thank you.
Item 111008501, Newington Town Center Vision, removing it for $50,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Minor. And discussion on this item.
Once again, with the state coming forth with a lot of different zoning issues. And we also have approximately 13 studies that are sitting on somebody's shelf. I think we should take a look at what we have and wait to see and kind of work in harmony when we redo our zoning regulations. So we're proposing removing this from the budget for this particular budget cycle.
Okay. Any other council comment or question? Okay, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Counselor Annis,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
Item 111008501, CIP reduction of the radio lease of $173,948. We figured currently in our CIP under public safety communication tower replacement is $173,948. As we know, we are not building that communications tower on the Tocon property. So figuring that we can transfer that money from that line item of CIP over to the radio replacement.
okay. I'm trying to understand. So this is a reduction of that amount, but
Of
then
the
is there another
575.
item that would put it into the other account? Are you saying to transfer
It's a
it?
reduction of the 173,948 from the 575 that's going to be in the radio lease, because there's currently that amount of money in the communication tower replacement, which we're not using. So just to move that money from the tower replacement over to the radio lease.
So we would do that transfer through finance in the future?
Correct.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Any other council comment or question? Mr. Chapman, are you available there? Can you, are you okay with this? I just want to make sure that the rationale makes sense in terms of the future funding for the radio replacement.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it because, you know, we're still working on developing the radio replacement plan for the town. But what I am happy to report on is that the anticipated costs for the upgrade to the public safety radio system are probably going to be a lot lower than what was first projected with the study that was done by Mr. Zito. So I think we're going to be okay with this move that's being proposed. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Councilor Annis, thank you for that. I appreciate the thought that went into that and the explanation for sure. Any other council thought or discussion, comment? All right, I'm good with this one. So we'll go ahead to a roll call vote.
Did you get a second?
Oh, I don't know. Did I? Is there a second to this one?
Second.
Second, Counselor Minor. All right, thank you, Susan, for keeping us honest.
You're welcome. Counselor,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
Yes.
Counselor Mankey,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes.
9-0.
Thank you. We have one more, but I think we're going to table it to the next meeting and try to get some more hard numbers.
Okay,
If that's okay.
absolutely. Thank you.
More information. Thank you.
Counselor Mankey, did you have your hand up or are you good?
No, we can take it up on the 20th. That's a great idea, Councilor Annis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so both sides are all set.
Yes.
I'm just gonna, I have to make a comment. That was like probably the easiest process we've ever gone through, guys. So thank you. There was some nice collaboration, I know, and I appreciate it. That's the most 9-0 votes I think we've ever had in a budget discussion. So I appreciate it on both sides. Thank you, everyone, for that. We'll move on now to new business, and we have one item on our agenda this evening under new business, which is the CPACE agreement modification. In our packets, we did have a memo regarding the fact that our tax collector did receive notification from the Connecticut Green Bank regarding changes to the commercial property assessed clean energy CPACE program. And at this time, they are looking to take over the responsibility of billing and collecting CPACE tax assessment, which are currently handled by the town. In order to facilitate this change, the town council would need to authorize Mr. Chapman, the town manager, to execute a partial release agreement that will free the town of the billing and collection requirements of the program. Connecticut Green Bank would like to implement this change by the July 2021 tax collection cycle and would need that release executed and returned by the end of April. So we have those documents in front of us. I know Ms. Murphy is on. Would you like to speak to this, Janet?
I'm actually handing this off to James because the tax collector talked to him about this whole thing.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, James.
So this goes back quite a ways. So in 2014, we entered into the program itself. Connecticut Green Bank is moving to that transition of handling all the billing, which allows them to collect the funds and get them to the stakeholders a little bit faster. The town itself receives a $500 stipend to complete this billing cycle, which is a lot of extra work, even though it's only two programs. There's two companies in the program itself currently. So effectively, this would release that piece out of the original agreement, which is in section 3E, which specifically is where our billing and collection process is in place. And that partial release would remove us from needing to handle anything else for them or taking any additional collections, taking in the extra dollars through our system and paying them back out to them, which is a lot of extra work for both the tax collector and for finance. So once this was executed, Green Bank would actually get in contact with our tax collector specifically, make sure that all the correct information is there for contacting the companies. And that way, as of July 1st for the 2022 cycle, they would automatically start collecting directly and we'd be completely out of it. Would not prevent us from still getting other companies to go into that program for energy efficiency though.
Okay, great. Any other council comment, question, discussion? Deputy Mayor Budraco.
Yeah, it sounds like a good deal for us, James, but I just have a question on the agreement that the release agreement. Item 3, it says such release shall not, however, include the obligation of Green Bank to cover the municipality's out-of-pocket costs and expenses in discharging its duties under the agreement. So I'm assuming that we won't have any out-of-pocket costs that we won't get reimbursed for?
No, what they're talking about specifically are the liens that would normally get filed on the land records. As a town entity, we don't charge for those anyway. So there would be no cost to us coming out of the program.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, I don't see any, so we'll have a resolution in our packet at our next meeting to go ahead and act on.
Correct.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to the next item, which is resignations and appointments. Do we have any this evening?
We have none.
We have none.
Okay, thank you. Next item is refunds. We have the approval of the April 13th, 2021 refunds for overpayment of taxes. Deputy Mayor Badreko?
Resolved that property tax refunds in the amount of $2,699.02 are hereby approved in the individual amounts, and then for those named on the requests for refund of an overpayment of taxes certified by the revenue collector, a list of which is attached to this resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Nagel. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
yes,
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is minutes of previous meetings. We have before us this evening the March 20th, 2021 special meeting minutes and the March 23rd, 2021 regular minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve both of those.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor
Second.
Menke for a second, seconded by Counselor Donahue. Thank you. Any discussion on those? All right, seeing none, we'll go to a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Anist,
Yes.
Counselor Braverman,
Yes.
Counselor Budraco,
Yes.
Counselor Camillo,
Yes.
Counselor Donahue,
yes,
Counselor Menke,
Yes.
Counselor Minor,
Yes.
Counselor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
okay. Next item is written and oral communications from the town manager. Mr. Chapman, anything for us this evening?
The only thing I will say is that with what's going on with the COVID, as I reported earlier, we're seriously looking at reopening the buildings and getting all the other activities going on, but it will be a phased-in approach if and when it happens, but it looks like it's going to happen sooner than later. So I know people in the town have been contacting you as counselors and certainly my office, wondering when things are going to open up. Well, we'll have more communication about that moving forward next week and beyond, as we know what the state is doing and how this COVID-19 thing is working out.
Okay, great, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Chapman? Counselor Minor?
Just real quick, Keith, just to clarify, so we're using getting down to the orange zone to even start the reopening process, correct?
Yeah, we're still in the red, but the way things look, the state is sort of moving ahead, even though the state is primarily still in the red zone. And if the state lifts their emergency directives and orders, then we have some obligations on our end that we must open up certain buildings and certain rooms for certain activities because of state statute and state mandates. So we're going to prepare for that. And we have our plan in place. We just don't know how quickly we're going to do it. And it all depends on whether the governor signs an extension on the emergency order. If he does not, then that's going to place our obligations to move forward more rapidly than we anticipate. If he does extend it, that will reduce down the acceleration of opening things up.
Okay, and that will expire April 20th, correct?
That's correct, right.
Okay, and are we obligated to accept that and continue on? I'm just curious about potential reimbursement for COVID-related expenses, if that continues or if that goes away with the sunsetting of the executive order.
Well, that's an interesting question. I don't have an answer for you, but I sign every month a emergency order as well. I'm not sure that we're going to discontinue that just because the state does. I think you bring up a good point that with the COVID situation, if we were to extinguish our emergency orders, then we may jeopardize our reimbursement. So we're going to look further into that. This is coming fairly much as a shock to most towns that the governor is considering and not continuing the emergency orders. So we're going to do some research on it.
Okay, and I think that more let the legislature weigh in as a group versus an individual order. Correct. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Minor. Any other council questions? All right, we'll move on. Next item is council liaison and committee reports. Councilor Nagel.
I have attended several different committees, and I will be brief in terms of all of them. Attended the Capital Region Organization of Governments meeting for the town, and the discussion then, which was on 3/24, that they are going to oversee a bike survey for routes that can be done for bikes to connect throughout the greater Hartford area, adjacent primarily to roadways. CROG has been asked to oversee Sustainable Connecticut. Evidently, a large grant has been appropriated for interns to be hired to assist towns in terms of Sustainable Connecticut services. There was a discussion about the closing of the waste mirror plant in Hartford, and which many towns are involved in. And last but not least, which may still be the case, we were informed that the state capitol is still closed for COVID back then, and is still, as far as I know, and that the state budget deadline is for April 23rd, which I believe is still the same. Also attended the Senior and Disabled Center meeting. Most of the what was discussed has been previously discussed in this meeting. Also, there was a mailing that went out to with a combination of the Senior Center, the library, and Human Services for all residents over 65, sharing all kinds of information relevant to them and what the town can serve to them, including vaccinations at that time. Also, the Senior Center building is still closed, even though they have many programs going on. Too numerous to mention right now, but that gives the opportunity for renovations, painting, HVAC, window replacements. All these things were previously approved by the town in this year's budget. I also attended the library meeting. I believe Councilor Minor was also there. They talked about the 150th anniversary and what the library is doing there. Friends of the library will be on the front steps. They will be, aside from other things, they will be handing out snacks that are for free, that are of 1939, which is the year the library opened. So there's an extra reason to go there. They're continuing their collaboration with other libraries, and they continue that collaboration once they're allowed to open again. The Friends of the Library is having a book sale this Saturday outside on the library lawn. It's $10 for a bag of books. You get to put books in the bag, and it runs from, and pay your $10. It runs from 1:30 in the afternoon to 4:30 in the afternoon. Library has also started planning their 5K race plans. It will be held not this spring, but on October 3rd. How people register is going to change, and details about that obviously will be firmed up and are obviously still in flux because we don't know what is in store for us in terms of the pandemic in in October. Also, as you know, I share the Shared Services Committee. They have met once since the last council meeting. At that particular time, the town manager and the superintendent of schools did not meet. Therefore, we could not move forward. There was nothing to discuss in terms of further plans. I have not received any direct information in terms of our next meeting, which is tentatively scheduled for the 19th of this month. But I do know from indirect sources and looking at things that that the two treasurers, Board of Ed and Town Hall, have met and have had talks. I know that there are problems in terms of combining some or having certain people on the board side and the town side work together, because on one side or the other, one of them belongs to a union, and that creates a whole raft of other problems. I know that there's been looking into sharing the site that the town uses, so there could be synchronization between the town and the Board of Ed. I have heard nothing definite about that, except I did see through an email or whatever that indeed there is going to be a special meeting of the Board of Ed involving shared services, and there are some recommendations from the superintendent there. And they're meeting tomorrow, and I will leave it to that to let them decide what they wish to do, and hopefully before the 19th, Mr. Chapman can come forth and let me know, the superintendent of schools, as to what, if anything, there is to discuss on the 19th. And that briefly covers all those meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nagel. Deputy Mayor Bedrejko?
Yeah, just a quick update for tomorrow at the Town Planning and Zoning Commission. There's going to be a public hearing about temporarily allowing the town planner to approve outdoor dining. This will be through the end of December, again, to help our local restaurants who have been severely economically impacted by COVID, and and COVID's not going away over the summer. So this is an attempt to allow them again to have outdoor dining, and next year you'll see what happens. And then for those of you who are interested in Newington Junction, there's just going to be a discussion. It's not going to be a public hearing or whatever, but the town planner will be presenting some ideas that she may or may not have. Again, it's just if you're interested.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Minor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a post note to Councilor Nagel. The library, with the closure of Keeney Manufacturing, lost their title sponsor for their 5K. So they are soliciting any corporate or any entity that would be interested in sponsoring that event. So that's just a post note for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other hands up, so I'm just quickly going to, before public participation, I really should have asked for this earlier when we finished our budget adjustments. But James, if you have the final adjustment to the mill rate that we passed this evening, so we know where we stand, and I'd like to do that. I was going to do it under council comment, but if we can do that now before public participation, just so people can see it, I would appreciate it. There it is on the screen, which is very small. So hold on while I zoom in. All right, so after our adjustments that we all made this evening, it looks like our current adjusted mill rate would be down to 38.81. Yes.
That is correct.
Okay. And so last year's mill rate was 39.28. So we're looking at a reduction of 0.39. I'm not great at math, you guys. I'm a speech therapist. That's why. And I can't find my pen to even do it. So just bear with me.
James, if you go to the first tab, it's already calculated for you. Go to page 1. There you go.
0.47. Am I coming up with the right one?
It's right there for you. Beth.
0.45.
Oh,
0.45.
okay, got it. Sorry, my screen is not cooperating. I apologize. All right. Perfect, thank you. All right, so we've done some nice work this evening. As I mentioned earlier, we have another opportunity on the 20th if we do have any other adjustments to be made, or anything changes between now and then, we can certainly make those adjustments then as well. All right, we will go on now to public participation. Any member of the public may participate in the Zoom app by raising your hand in the participants window or by phone using *9. Let's see, we have Ms. Lyons with us.
Hi, Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive. I think this is the first time in the 10 or 11 years that I've been paying attention to the budget that both parties have come up with some great ideas for the changes, for the adjustments, and it's even more surprising that you all seem to go along with each other's suggestions, which is very refreshing. Thank you for the work that you've put in, and that's about it. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. All right. I'm just going to take one more peek to see if anyone else is waiting. And I do not see any other hands up. So we'll move on to remarks by counselors. Hold on, guys. I'm just switching over to see if any of you have a hand up. All right, I don't see anyone. Just one last, I just want to say thank you, especially to the town staff who I know we were kind of bugging all week trying to make sure that the ideas we had made sense, get some finalized figures and account numbers. So thank you to Ms. Murphy and her staff, Mr. Chapman and his staff, and a quick thank you to both Majority Leader Menke and Minority Leader Anist, because I know behind the scenes you did a lot of work this week in preparing for those budget adjustments with your caucuses. So thank you both very much. Any other council comment or question? All right, then we will go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Menke, seconded by Councilor Anist. Any discussion? Better not be. All set. All right, guys. I guess we'll finish out with our last roll call vote.
Councilor Anist,
Yes.
Councilor Braverman,
Yes.
Councilor Bedrejko,
Yes.
Councilor Camillo,
Yes.
Councilor Donahue,
Yes.
Councilor Menke,
Yes.
Councilor Minor,
Yes.
Councilor Nagel,
Yes.
Mayor Del Buono.
Yes,
9-0.
great. Tim and Gail, if you could stay on for just a minute.
Carol.
Not Gail, I'm sorry, Tim and Carol. I
Thank you.
apologize. If you could just stay on for a quick minute, we have something that we have to finish. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great evening.